Good evening, otherworldlies. This is Juliana Angel, your Dark Mask Diva. Okay, now I recently answered a question, and this has a little bit to do with the people, needing space and that sort of thing. I talked a lot about people taking breaks and that sort of thing. I'm getting asked a lot of questions like that about the people taking breaks and needing space and doing all this sort of thing. Okay, this is along the lines of that, but I'm going to specifically talk about this. I'm getting asked questions about somebody saying that they need a little bit of space, and someone said, a guy asked me a question, said that his girlfriend says that she needs a little bit of space and she hasn't talked to him in like 4 days, and he's worried about her and he wants to check on her, but he doesn't want to seem clingy. But I'm just kind of like, she hasn't talked to you in like 4 days though, and he's afraid that he's going to be clingy if he checks on her. And I'm just kind of like, this is really sad. Okay, I really just think anytime people are asking for that kind of space and they haven't talked to you in 4 days, there are situations where people are going through clinical depression. Okay, people are trying to push you away because they don't feel good, that kind of thing. But if you're in a relationship and that person wants to be in the relationship with you, they're not going to push you away and refuse to talk to you for 4 days. If they really want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? If they're avoiding you for 4 straight days, unless they're seriously going through mental illness, and when I'm talking about serious mental illness, I'm talking about situations where there's dissociation. Okay. And there's a lot of that going around lately because of COVID and that sort of thing. There's a lot of scary stuff going on in the world right now, okay? There's a lot of depression and that sort of thing. People could be pushing each other away because of that. But I'm talking besides things like that. If people are pushing you away, not wanting to talk to you, I mean, let's just say your girlfriend or boyfriend doesn't have that, okay? Because, and besides mental illness, if it's not that, okay, if your loved one does not need help, okay, so we're talking aside of that, if they don't need help, if they're just pushing you away and saying they're busy and all this kind of thing, it just takes a couple seconds every day to check in with you and say, hey, I'm doing okay, just saying hi or whatever. If they're trying to go like 4 days without talking to you, and they're not having some kind of mental or nervous breakdown or something like that, if they're just trying to avoid you for 4 days straight, I would say that's really bad news. I would say I would pretty much kind of sour on them. Saying that they're not having some kind of mental or emotional problem. Okay, let's be fair to those people that are going through something, that are having some kind of nervous breakdown or something. Those people are exempt. Those people need help. They need to go get some help. Okay, but I'm talking about the people that that are just trying to avoid you. Okay, and you might know if your partner is having some kind of emotional problems. They're probably telling you they're not feeling like themselves, and they're probably acting funny, and they probably have had some kind of history of some kind of problem like that before, and you might know about it. Okay, and they may have had some kind of addiction issue in the past, or and I mean, that's somebody that you were dating, so you kind of know that they already have a problem like that. Okay, so it's okay to try to check on them. Alright, but if they don't have a problem like that, and they're just avoiding you, and you're afraid of being clingy, they're just avoiding you. Okay, so this goes along with I need space, and we need to take a break, and somebody who's in love with you can't go more than 24 hours without reaching out to you or hearing from you. Okay, unless they're really angry. Was that person angry with you? Did you do something to them? No, seriously, did you do something really bad? Like, did you put hands on them? Did you call them out of their name? Did you cheat on them? I mean, do they have, like, viable reason to be angry with you? Did you do something to them? Did you take something valuable? Did you disrespect their parents? I mean, did you do something really, really bad? Is that why they're avoiding you, or are they just avoiding you? I mean, I've avoided talking to somebody I love because they did something bad to me. Okay, they really hurt me. So I've avoided talking to them for a long period of time. That's the only reason I did. But I mean, I was legit mad. They legit hurt me. But if you're just avoiding someone you're in a relationship with for like 4 days at a time, they're really just trying to avoid being in the relationship. And I feel really bad for having to say that. That's not really a relationship that is very dear to them. Okay, that's it's not a sustainable relationship. You might be able to stay friends with this person, but that person is not in love with you. That's and you're having to worry about coming off clingy because you just want to check on them. That's really sad that you have to feel that way, that you're worried about being clingy because you want to check on them after not hearing from them for 4 days. You're just kind of like, wow, are they passed out after taking a bunch of pills and washing it down with some booze? You're worried about them, and you're worried about coming off clingy because you want to check on them. Yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool, and I feel bad for you. I feel bad that you're asking me if you're going to come off clingy because of that. No, hun, that person is avoiding you because they don't want to be with you. I mean, was anything seriously wrong with them? Were they suffering any serious kind of depression or anything like that? Were they going through anything? Or are they just trying to say that they have a lot on their mind, or have a lot on their plate, or they just have a lot to do? Or do they just have a lot to think about? No, they just want to get away from you. Okay, I've been in situations where I've tried to tell people things and they weren't listening to me. Okay, you may have watched my last video where I've told guys that I was in relationships with things and they weren't listening. So I would go away and not communicate with them for days at a time. And because they just weren't listening. Okay, that might be what that person is doing to you. Are you maybe not listening? Not accusing you or anything, but that might be what's going on. Is there a communication breakdown there? And maybe that's why she doesn't want to talk to you. Okay, because if she's not talking to you for days at a time, she's really just trying to distance herself slowly to get to the point where you guys just don't have a relationship anymore. She's trying to create a barrier in the relationship where she can finally just break it off with you. Okay, where she's getting to the point where she doesn't have to communicate with you anymore because you're not listening, or she just doesn't want to be with you anymore. So that's part of it. But you kind of sound nicer than the exes I was with who weren't listening, that they were just controlling and they really actually were clingy. So you actually sound nicer than them. So I just kind of wonder if she's just kind of like stringing you along and you're just one of those convenient boyfriends. Or are you kind of are you kind of overestimating the relationship? You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's not really a relationship. Maybe is that somebody that you're kind of dating, but you're not really in the relationship. And she's more like, oh, I'll get in touch with you when I get back from my vacation. Like, don't contact me until I come back. And you're wondering if you should contact her. Is that maybe really not your girlfriend? I mean, because sometimes you can be dating somebody and you think you're in a relationship and they're not really into you like that. Because I was dating this guy and I told him, if you get really weird, I'm going to stop dating you. Because I just got out of a relationship. So if you get clingy with me and you get weird and you start making me uncomfortable, I'm going to stop dating you. So he got clingy and weird and started making me uncomfortable, and I stopped dating him. And that's when he got super clingy and weird. Go figure, right? So he wanted the relationship to be, you know, this like, he just got like a stage 4 clinger, and he got super obsessed with me. And I was just like, I just got out of this really crazy relationship with this, you know, completely insane guy, and you're even crazier than the last guy. And you know I just got out of a relationship with this crazy guy. So you decided to just traumatize me even more. Nice. So now I'm getting away from you. And you better leave me alone. Yeah. I'm not going to put up with you either, you know. So, bozos. It was just like, here's a bozo I get away from, and then here's this other bozo that was just complete psycho stalker. You know, and I had to tell him, I need you to leave. I had to go to therapy and try to ask this therapist, how, you know, I need you to tell me how to tell this bozo to leave me alone, because he won't. And the therapist was just kind of like identifying with the bozo. I think she's just never had a guy not leave her alone, and she just could not, and she just thought I'm this mean person, and I'm like, no, this bozo won't leave me alone. And it turns out the bozo was also one of her clients. So she was feeling sorry for him because he was like manipulating her. So she should have dropped one of us. Isn't that crazy? So he would just go in there crying and talking about me all the time. So in her mind, I was just this like total bad guy who was mean to him. She should have dropped one of us. See, I didn't know that. So he was just making me look mean and bad and all this other stuff. Yeah. But he was an extremely manipulative bozo. But yeah, he was crazy. I was just traumatized from, you know, being stalked by a bozo, but he was seeing her because he was like a true mental case. Yeah. Obviously because he was a stalker of me. And he was, you know, going in there talking to her because he was obsessed with me. I was going in there because I was being stalked by him. But, I don't know. I don't know if the guy who wrote to me was a guy exactly like him. Who knows? And he sounds like a nice person and he's not. Who knows? But if somebody is avoiding you for 4 days straight, that is not a normal situation. And I really hope that person's not clinically depressed and just pushing the guy away. I hope that's not the situation. But it really does sound like she's avoiding you, man. When people are avoiding you for 4 days straight, they're not interested in cultivating a relationship with you. Now, I understand. Okay, here's the thing. People really need to be on their purpose. They really need to, now, especially when it comes to men need to make money. Okay, that's what men really need to be doing. If men are avoiding you for 4 days straight, you're not the one. Okay, because men are very obsessed with the woman they want. They cannot ignore a woman for 4 days straight. If they're doing that, they're cheating on you. Okay, they're chasing other women. don't ever deal with a man who can go 4 days without talking to you. They're just absolutely, that's a no-no. And if a lady is not taking your calls and wants to avoid you for 4 days straight, women naturally want relationships. So if she's trying to avoid you for 4 days straight, she's trying to avoid you, period. It means you're bothering her, okay? If she's trying to avoid you, it means she's just, okay, you've emotionally exhausted her. So I think if you feel bad for her, you need to pray for her, and you need to just be only friends with her, and you can check up on her and say, hey, look, I care, I'm concerned, I don't mean to be clingy, but I'm concerned for your well-being, and I hope you're okay. And if you really don't want to see me anymore, I wish that you would just say something. Or, don't even say that. Just say I'm concerned for your well-being and just checking on you. Just like to know if you're okay. Leave it at that. Don't say anything clingy like, are we cool? Or anything like that. Or, are you avoiding me? Or anything like that, because that's just going to make it worse. Just say I'm concerned for your well-being. Are you alright? Because that shows that you're a considerate, caring human being. But don't make it needy, like you're worried that she doesn't like you anymore. Because that's not going to make her like you anymore. It's going to make her go, ugh. It's going to make her more repulsed by you if she's already repulsed by you. It's going to make her break up with you even faster. Okay. But if she's already avoiding you and doing things like that, I need you to start preparing yourself for the strong possibility that she's really just trying to push you away. And you need to not be clingy, because that is going to make it 10 times worse. Okay. And you can't really do anything about it, but just prepare yourself for it. And I know that's harsh. I know that's cold, but you've done something to put her off. Okay, and once you've done that, all you can do is back away and be a gentleman about it, and leave her be. Because if you don't, dude, you're a stalker. And that's actually that's extremely emotionally distressing, and gives the fight or flight response in a woman. Okay, and you're a psycho if you don't leave her alone after that. So just check on her well-being. Make sure she's okay. After that, the only thing you can do is just go find something to do. Okay. Consider the possibility of sooner rather than later seeing other people. Okay, because the chance of her breaking up with you is likely coming. Okay, people who can avoid you like that, yeah, your relationship's probably over. And I don't think that's nice for people to avoid you for days at a time. People can say all they want that, their relationship is like that, and they just can go days and days and days without talking to the person they love. Nah. I mean, I might go all day without talking to Zen because he's at work. I'm not going to bug him at work. He had to get up early and go to work. Okay? I'm not going to bug him while he's at work. But I do talk to him by the end of the day. I don't go days without talking to him. That's just a little bit ridiculous. So, I don't think I could go days without talking to him. Unless he did something really bad to me. So did you do anything really bad to her? No? Well, she's probably tired of you. I mean, I know I'm saying it mean, but I'm just trying to put things into perspective. Women naturally are trying to make relationships work. And yes, we do need time to ourselves. But for her to avoid you like that, I think that's just a little bit irregular. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sorry to put it like this, but that's along the space, the family of, I need space, we need to take a break. This is the same type of BS, okay? I'm so sorry. I wish people would just be more honest and say they don't want to be with somebody, but chances are she's been trying to tell you things and you're not listening, okay? Because there's a lot of that going around. She's probably been telling you to back off and all this kind of stuff, and you're not, and you haven't been paying attention. I don't know you, but that might have been what's been going on, and you're not taking the hint. So I'm just speaking from my own experience. That might be what's going on here, and so she's just she's trying to get away from you now. Okay, I'm really sorry. It's probably what's happening. Okay, so I love you, otherworldlies. Everybody, you have a good evening. Bye bye.